Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Amamanson Network. This is Nandi, and the program is Vibrant Authentic Living. This morning, we're going to be talking about fasting in general, but specifically the 40-day grape juice fast. I am currently on a 40-day grape juice fast. This is my second time doing a 40-day grape juice fast, and I am on day 6. So I started this fast last week Monday, and I'm going to go for roughly 6 weeks, right? So it's a 40-day grape juice. Now I'm going to explain to you all that it entails. And I'm also going to talk to you about the benefits of doing any kind of fasting, not just a grape juice fast, but you have many different types of fasting. The one that I particularly like, and the most difficult one to do, and the most dangerous one to do, is the dry fast. So let's start there. So I'm going to walk you through the different kinds of fasts, and I'm going to tell you about the benefits of fasting, and we're going to talk about what you can experience when you're fasting, what to look out for so you don't get scared and you don't get turned off from the whole experience, and everything that entails, and everything that fasting entails. I'm going to tell you also, I'm going to share with you my journal, parts of my journal. So this is a journal that I keep, one of several journals that I keep to record my journey as it pertains to health, fasting, meditation, anything of note. I've been keeping journals since I was at my knee. It's a part of who I am. I'm a writer, and so I believe in recording the journey as I go along. And then I look back. Sometimes I'll take up some old journals and flip back and see, wow, this is from whence I came. This is the journey, and the journey continues. So when this book is done, so it's about roughly halfway through now. This is a small one. The journals that I have been keeping over the years have been big because, when it comes to writing, I am Miss Prolific. So I'll write. Just keep writing, and I love to express, I love to record. So I'm going to take you through this very private, very personal journal. You're going to be privy to all of this information. Right, so let's start with the different types of fasting. But first, let me put my disclaimer up here. Disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor. I'm talking to you one-to-one from my personal experience. This is something I've done. This is something I've lived through, and I can tell you from my experience what it is like and the benefits I've had. So here goes. So dry fasting. Dry fasting is fasting without even drinking water, not even water. So your body needs 3 basic essential things, essential to live, right? So you need air, you need water, you need food. There are persons who call themselves breatharians, who they claim that they are even able to go without water, right? Or without drinking water. Some say they do get water, but from taking it in, or the water that they breathe in. But that's a very dangerous way to live. And if persons are breatharians and they sustain that, then kudos to them. It's something I would, if it's possible, I think it would take you to another level of consciousness, right? So maybe in years to come, who knows, But let's stick with the fasting as it pertains to water. Your body needs water, but it can go without water for some time. So the dry fast is when you abstain from even water. Now, this is a dangerous thing to do. And so it's not something that you should do, especially when you're just starting this journey of fasting. I started dry fasting decades after I first started fasting. So the dry fast is a more recent thing for me. And I started fasting in my teens, right? So I've been on this journey for a long donkey years time. When I just started, when I just tried the water fast, I was about 16, 17, thereabout, right? 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that category. And I'd been a vegetarian from I was 13. And, always on this health journey, this health food journey, juicing, loving my fruits, eating veggies, cut out meat from I was 13. And so I wanted to try fasting. And the first time I fasted, it was so difficult. It was so extremely difficult to go through that day, that first day, just one day without food. I drank water throughout the day, but I felt so weak. I felt so exhausted. I felt so dizzy, to the point where when night came, I just didn't feel like I could go on anymore. So this is an adolescent at that time. Really feel I couldn't go anymore. So you know what I did? I did one of the most dangerous things that you can do when you are fasting, and that is I immediately went for some binge eating of fried dumplings. I remember I was so hungry the night, right? So I refused my dinner because, I declared I'm fasting. So no dinner. But about 8 o'clock in the night, I was so hungry. And at the time, I was living in Red Hills. So this is in Jamaica, right? Living in Red Hills. At the time, the kitchen was outside. So we had an outside kitchen where you had to go catch up the wood fire, the bring it to light. It's not like you can just turn on the gas stove or electric stove. It wasn't that. You had to start from scratch. And I remember I asked my cousin to follow me outside. It was night. We had to have a bottle torch, all of those country things, right? And my cousin was about 13, 14. And I said to her, follow me outside and because I need to cook. I need to eat something. That time dinner finished, everybody eats everything. So I said, I need to eat something. And we started by the fire, and I remember I fried some fritters, just mixed the flour, put in some scallion, some seasoning, and fried, and I ate those fritters. And this is a dangerous thing to do when you're fasting, because when you have gone for an extended period without food, and then all of a sudden you're gorging on especially these heavy things, heavy protein foods, heavy starch foods, you can put your body into such a state that it's overwhelmed. And people have died from eating bread, eating stuff like that immediately after a fast. So one of the most important things to note is when you're coming off the fast, whether it's a dry fast, water fast, fruit juice fast, whatever kind of fast, you have to come off it very slowly, very gradually, and start reintroducing food slowly and light. So diluted food, diluted soups, fruit juices, those kind of things. That is what you're supposed to do. And as a matter of fact, it's not encouraged that you go straight from a heavy cooked food, meat diet straight into the fast. It's best if you wean that and gradually go on a fruit diet for at least some days, and then you go to the fast. So we do want to avoid shocking the body, overwhelming the system at any time, right? So that's a big mistake I made. I did not know that at 16 years old, that it was a dangerous thing. All I knew was I took on this fasting thing. I went from the night before, fasted that entire day, and when it came to the night, I was so hungry. I was ravenous. I'm telling you that hunger, it wasn't a normal hunger. I was ravenous, and I had to have something to eat. And I just drew for something, the next thing at hand, and that was some flour. I made some fritters and I ate it. I would not do that now, knowing what I know, right? So that was then. And I've been fasting for many years. So from 16, now I am 20 something, right? So I've been fasting for many, 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 many years, and learned a lot along the way. So now I can share my experience with you, right? So now I dry fast. As a matter of fact, whenever I'm fasting now, if it's a couple days, I don't even bother to water fast now. I just do the dry fasting because I just prefer it now. And I know that it's a more powerful kind of fasting, because in the dry fasting state, your body has zero energy that it has to give, sorry, to digestion, even of processing water. There is nothing in the digestive system for it to process. And so it channels all of that energy to cleaning itself out. And that's the main benefit of fasting, is that the tons of energy that are normally used in processing food is diverted to other tasks in the body. And one of the main tasks that your body does when there is no food to process is cleaning. So there's a spring cleaning going on. And so now, on this 40-day grape fast, 2 days per week are dedicated to dry fasting. And when I'm fasting, whichever fasting I'm doing, I do my daily activities as normal. I teach for the entire day. When I used to do karate, I would go to karate class, I would do my training, I would do my sparring. Some persons will tell you don't do that, and they have good reason. They are saying if you're fasting to let the system rest, then you should rest. If you have the time and if you have that available to you, where you can go on a retreat, you can go to some place in nature and just rest, yes, I would do that if I had the time. But it's just that my life goes on, and when I make time for fasting, I still have to understand that I have other things going on in my life that need to be done. So I have to strike that balance. And actually, I don't feel drained, I don't feel exhausted. I'm so used to it now that not even the first day is a hurdle. For many persons, the first day of fasting is the most exhausting. It's the biggest hurdle to get over. They feel hunger pangs. They feel like they just can't go on, they can't do anything. But I'm so used to it now, I don't feel those symptoms anymore. My body has gone through so many different periods of cleansing now. I don't have those withdrawal symptoms anymore. I just go straight into my fast whenever I'm starting. Just like normal, I get up 4 o'clock in the morning. I get my kids ready for school. I make my whatever I have to make. I go to do my laps. Still, when I'm fasting every morning, I do my laps for about an hour of walking. I teach right through the day, straight down. I have even online classes at night. I teach face to face right through the day. I have extra lessons, I have online add math classes at night, and I do all of that, plus find time to do videos, plus do my writing, plus do chores and errands, still at it, right? And as you can see, I'm still full of energy, just like normal, just as if I wasn't fasting. But if you're just starting out, you can expect to feel that exhaustion, right? It's a natural thing, and you do go through that withdrawal of being used to having food in your tummy almost all the time, because we just eat, and we think that we need to pump food constantly in our digestive system, and our systems really get no time to rest, to take a break, to clean out what's in it already, let alone you start piling up more things in. So you're accustomed to having that feeling of fullness, and so when the stomach empties for the last time, and then you're not putting anything more, you feel that emptiness, and it feels like you're going to die, and everybody around you is telling you you're going to die, you need food. Especially in our culture, in Jamaican culture, your grandparents, your parents used to hammer it into you, you must eat. You can't go without breakfast. You can't go without lunch. You can't go without a full dinner, plus snacks in between. As a matter of fact, certain things they eat, they don't consider it food. Food has to be a home cooked meal with your starch and your protein and your this and your that and your that. That is food. And if you don't eat that, there are persons around you who, if you tell them you're fasting, they will legitimately start worrying that you're going to die. And in a sense, you can't blame them. It's what they're used to, it's the culture. They really think you're in danger. So you just have to reassure them, let them know, hey, I'm going to be fine. Fasting is something that humans have done for centuries, for millennia. It's one of the oldest human practices. It has been done for secular reasons as well as for religious reasons. So people who are very spiritual, people who are deep in their religious beliefs, they will fast. The Muslims have Ramadan, the Christians have their Lent period of fasting and praying. Now, for different cultures, the fasting is different. And to me, when I hear of persons like Christians may say, I'm on fasting today, I always like to know, so what do you mean? What do you do? And sometimes, even yesterday, one of my students said to me that her parents are fasting. And I said to her, really? That's nice. What do they do? And she said, well, they can't eat meat during the day, but they can eat fruits, they can eat, and then she was listing all some things they can eat. To me, that's not really fasting, right? Although the word fasting just means to go without, to abstain from a particular thing. So yeah, if you're fasting, you might want to give up meat. Some Christians give up meat for Lent, but they might still eat fish, which is meat. So it boils down to definitions, semantics. So you really, when someone tells you they're fasting, you really have to pry a little deeper and find out, what do you really mean by fasting, right? For some persons, they eat breakfast, they just go without food for the day, and they eat dinner. That to them, that's fasting, and it is, because we fast every night. You eat dinner, you break for an extended period, and then you eat in the morning. That's why you call it your breakfast. You're breaking your fast. You are fasting. So if someone said, well, I eat breakfast, I just don't allow myself to eat during the day, and I eat dinner, that's my fast. So make sure everybody understands what they're talking about when they say they are fasting, right? Okay, so that's a dry fast. You go without everything, including water. No water, no food, nothing. You just go through the day and don't put anything into your mouth. And some persons even take the dry fast to the extreme that they will not even brush their teeth, they will not even bathe. Some extremists, right? When it comes to dry fasting, that's how they roll. They don't even want to brush, they don't want water to touch inside their mouth or on their skin. Because to them, once they come in contact with water, some water will get through the skin, some will get into the mouth, and they don't want that. They just want to abstain completely. For some persons, the fast is not complete until the coating on the tongue is completely clear. You see a pink, clean pink tongue. That's when they know the fast is over. So they will not brush their teeth, they will not brush their tongue, they'll just let nature take its course. And during the fast, white substance will accumulate on the tongue, and then as the fast progresses and your body is cleaning and cleaning, that white substance will gradually go away, and when it has completely gone, that's what they use as a sign that they can stop fasting, right? So during the fast, you might have very bad breath as the body cleans, you might have body odor as the body cleans, and so by the end of the fast, you will have fresh, minty breath and a nice, fresh body odor, meaning that you have cleaned out the body. So you have extremists and you have persons who are, more conservative in their fasting. The water fast, you abstain from everything except water. So you don't drink tea, you don't drink soup, you don't drink porridge, you don't eat anything at all. You only have water. And you can drink as much water as you want throughout the day, or whenever you want, you have water. The next kind of fast is a fruit juice fast. And in that fast, well, you only have fruit juices. And in that fast, also, you tend to avoid the heavier fruits. So you wouldn't include avocado, you wouldn't include ripe bananas, you wouldn't include the dates and those, heavier foods, the fatty fruits. You would not include those. So in the fruit fast, you'd more want to focus on the astringent fruits that have that strong pulling power and the flavonoids to clean out the body. So you'd focus on your citrus fruits, you'd focus on your berries, your melons, those kinds of fruits. You'd go for your coconut water, but not including the jelly, what we call jelly meat in Jamaica. That's that white substance in the young coconut that you can scrape and eat. We call it jelly meat. So you would include that. So that's for the fruit juice fast. You wouldn't, some persons use smoothies where they don't strain anything, so they include the fiber. But some persons in the fruit juice fast, they strain away the fiber and only drink the juice. You have coconut water fast. I've been on several coconut water fasts for 21 days. So for 21 days, I had only coconut water. That fast is also a very powerful fast. It really cleans you out head to toe, right? You at first you'll find mucus, you blowing from your sinuses, from your nostrils, lots of mucus. You'll find mucus coming down your throat. It really cleans the body of mucus. So I've been on several coconut water fasts. On a coconut water fast, you would not want to use the mature coconuts. You use the young jelly, those where the husk is still green or yellow. Those young jelly, and the younger the better, because you really just want the water, and that coconut water is life. That coconut water has the substance in the coconut water. From my research, it can be used to replace blood in a blood transfusion. It was used in World War One when there was not enough blood to do transfusions. The coconut directly from the coconut, still sterile, full of electrolytes, similar, very similar in composition to the blood plasma. So you can do some research on that. Coconut is the tree of life. And the coconut water is excellent, excellent. It's a good thing when you're just starting out the fasting to do the coconut water fast, because the coconut water is so tasty. It has a little bit of sweetness to it. It's refreshing. And so it's easier to do than just the plain water fast, right? So you can start with your juice fast, fruit juice fast, or vegetable juice. I'm more a fruit person. I'm not so much into the vegetables. But you can, or the leafy greens, you can blend those with your fruits. You can start with that. That's the easiest one to do because you're still going to have your taste. The flavonoids make it delicious and you're going to feel satiated. So start with that one. I would advise you to start with that one. Whether you can go one day, go do it for the weekend, do it for the week. Maybe I'm somewhat of an extremist in that I like to do, I like to push myself. And if I do things the normal way, I don't feel like I'm really doing anything. So I tend to push myself. So I've been on extended fast, 21 days, 14 days, 40 days. So the longest fast I've been on is the 40-day grape fast. And I did one in September last year. So I went for the 6 weeks, eating only grapes and drinking grape juice. And the grape juice had some lemon juice in it. This time around, my daughter suggested that I add some ginger. And you know, the ginger has powerful, potent power. So someone was telling me just this morning, when my friend was telling me that when he's drinking this batch of grape juice, it is so delicious and refreshing. The ginger gives it that kick, and then you have the lemon juice in it for the astringent power, that cleansing power. Oh my God, this grape fast is the bomb. So I'm on day 6 and I'm feeling vibrant and it's just great, right? So I started on Monday. On Tuesday, so I went through the day, grape juice, eating the actual grapes, and the grape juice had ginger and lemon juice. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I did my 2 days of dry fasting. So each week, I'm going to be doing the 2 days of dry fasting, and then 5 days of drinking grape juice and eating grapes. I start eating each day. The first meal is at 12 midday, and the last meal is at 6. So I'm also incorporating another type of fasting called intermittent fasting. So let's talk about that now. So intermittent fasting is fasting that is done where you abstain from food for a certain number of hours each day, and then you have an eating window where you can eat your meals within that specified time. So the popular windows would be, you have the 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating. Another popular one is the 16-8. That one is very popular. You fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. The one that I'm doing is the 18-6. So I fast for 18 hours that day, dry fast, meaning no water, no food. And then I have the grape juice and eat the grapes between 12 and 6 p.m. So that's a 6-hour window where I consume the grape juice and the grapes, and then I don't eat anything at all between 6 p.m. and 12 noon the next day. So I'm incorporated intermittent fasting within the grape juice fasting, right? So, but even when I'm not doing any particular fast, like a grape juice fast, coconut water fast, I incorporate intermittent fasting as a lifestyle. So even if I'm gone back to just eating my fruits, my whatever, and occasionally some fish, because in my normal diet, I'm mainly vegan, but I do eat fish sometimes, but no other meat since I was 13 years old. I only fish occasionally. I don't eat a lot of fish either. And I find that sometimes fish is starting to turn me off. So I'm foreseeing that in the future I might even do away with fish, right? So but I also still eat beans, I will have rice and those kind of things. So when I'm eating those normally, I will be practicing intermittent fasting. So those are the main types of fasts: the dry fast, the water fast, coconut water fast, the fruit juice fast, the grape juice fast. And some persons also go on the lemon juice fast. I'm combining the grape and the lemon with some ginger now. So I have this punch. It's a knockout punch. It's really delicious. You don't feel like you're missing anything in your life. I go through the day, I have my grape juice at 12. I will eat some grapes during that period as well. Have my next grape juice at 3, and I might drink some more grape juice at 6 and eat some grapes, and I feel full. I feel satiated. There's nothing missing in my life as it relates to diet right now, right? So now let's look at the benefits of fasting. Now, like I said, fasting has been practiced around the world, different cultures, for millennia. Humans have long discovered the benefits of fasting. The most immediate benefit is weight loss. You will shed the pounds as a given because it's low calorie, you're not eating much or if anything, and so you will shed the pounds, especially if you are still active, right? If you are still active, you're still doing the things you normally do, as I am now. If you were in a retreat on some island in the Pacific, you went on a retreat with your friends and you were there just just laying by the beach, or just out in nature, sitting on the ground, doing some grounding, and you're not really expending much energy, then yes, you're not going to shed as many pounds, but you will shed pounds nonetheless because you're restricting your calories, a kind of calorie restriction. So you will shed pounds. However, you're not going to be fasting for the weight loss, right? That should not be your ultimate. That should not be your ultimate goal, the weight loss. Because if you're fasting for the weight loss, the pounds are going to come back on. Maybe not all of them, but they're gradually going to come back on when you stop the fast. And if you don't change your lifestyle, all of it will come back. I guarantee you, I've done it. And if I've gone back to just eating what I was normally eating, especially way back in the days when I was still eating junk, because even though it's vegan stuff, some vegan foods are junk. A lot of the soy products, a lot of the chips, veggie burgers, they are vegan, but some of them are junk. And the canned beans, I love beans. I love red pea soup. That's my favorite soup. A lot of those things will make you put on back the weight if you go back to eating them. My ultimate diet is a raw food diet. I've never been able to sustain it. It's a very difficult thing to sustain in any culture. You have to be really rich. Where I'm living now, I'm in Jamaica, born and grown in Jamaica. It's better here in terms of getting the quality produce, organic stuff mostly readily available when the season is in. So it's better here, yes, but it's still expensive to maintain a totally raw food diet. It is expensive. I've never been able to come to sustain it for a long time, even though it is my ideal. So you don't want to fast for weight loss. You want it to be a lifestyle change. Anything you're going to do for weight loss has to be a lifestyle change that is sustainable, and you're going to do it without having to break the bank, having to be willing yourself to. You shouldn't have to be willing yourself. If you have to be willing yourself to do it, you're gonna fall off it and the weight is going to come back, right? But weight loss is a natural part of it because it's calorie restriction. The other benefits, it decreases inflammation. So inflammation is a natural response in the body. It's a natural immune response. However, there are certain things that will cause more from inflammation than the body can cope with. And so when there is that more inflammation and you're not cleaning it out because you're not resting, you're not eating the kinds of food that will promote cleansing and healing, then the body can go into what are called autoimmune diseases. And fasting helps to decrease inflammation in the body for the very fact that you're not pumping things constantly in. So now the body can use its natural restorative power to clean out and to reduce the inflammation, right? Because you're not pumping stuff into it. Another benefit of fasting is that it reduces your insulin resistance and improve your blood sugar content, the control of your blood sugar. So there is no spike in the blood sugar levels, which will over time lead to insulin resistance. So that is another benefit. There are benefits to your heart health, your cardiovascular health in general, as well as neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, any type of dementia, ALS, those kinds of degenerative brain diseases. Sorry, fasting restores your nerves. It regenerates your nerves, and so you will see a reduction or elimination of these disorders. Now, again, throwing up my disclaimer there, I am not a medical doctor. I'm not even a doctor of naturopathy. I would like to be, and I'm going to be doing the courses with Dr. Morse's Herbal Health Club and the International University of the Healing Arts. I do intend to become a doctor of naturopathy, but I am not yet. And so I'm just saying this has been my personal experience. This is something I can tell you from what I have lived through, the symptoms I have seen go away, the cleansing I have experienced. When you look at your urine when you're fasting, because remember, your urine cleans out your urine shows what has been cleaned out of your body in terms of metabolic waste coming out from the kidneys and then through the bladder. And I have seen kidney filtration. When you pee, if you pee in a jar, in a glass jar, you're supposed to see the sediment settle at the bottom. I have seen that with my own two eyes. I've seen what is flushed out of my body. I've seen what it does to my skin. I've seen the effect it has on my mental capacity. So this is something I can tell you from my personal experience over years of doing this, right? So even though I'm not trained, I have no qualifications as a medical doctor or even a doctor of naturopathy, I can tell you, I can testify to you that this works. Now, there is something called autophagy. Some people call it autophagy. It happens in your body when there is nothing coming in for your body to burn. It turns to the debris, the trash, the gunk that is stored, and it burns that as fuel. So you know that in your cells, at the cellular level, energy is released from the burning of glucose. All right. Now, without that glucose, your body has to turn to something to burn. It's just like you were in winter in a cabin and you had the fire going in the fireplace, and let's say the snowstorm lasted much longer than expected. After that wood in the fireplace is burnt, you're going to need something to burn to keep you warm, because you must stay warm or you will die. You're going to start taking wood from even the furniture, things that are stored around the house. You're going to be using that wood to burn. You're not going to immediately go for the window panes. You're not going to go for the wooden doors. You're not going to go for that structural support of the cabin to burn. The first things you're going to turn to use as fuel to throw in the fireplace are those wooden objects lying about that are disposable. They were accessories that, yes, they may have beautified the place. They may even have had a function. A rocking chair, yeah, it has a function, but you can do without it in times of crisis. So that's how your body works too. So when you start fasting, so it uses up all that available glucose, right? The glycogen that's available. And when that has been depleted, it will go for the stored fat. And that's the reason why we store the fat, for use as energy in times of crisis. For most of us in the modern world now, we have been operating as if there is a crisis when there is not. So we have been pumping in food as if we're stocking up for hibernation, and that hibernation never comes, that crisis never comes. And so we store that fat. We're walking around with that blubber all the time. Well, when you fast, you are triggering that ancient mechanism that's saying, okay, it's a time of shortage, because in nature, there are naturally times of shortage. Maybe not in the modern world, no, we just constantly have. But in our evolution, we are evolved to cope with times of crisis. And the animals, if you watch them, how they move, that's how they fast. Animals regularly fast. Lions fast. Many even carnivores fast. Many of the animals you take, snakes fast. We take it for granted that the animals behave like us. Sometimes you'll see an animal, and the other animal that it normally preys on might pass and it does nothing. Why? It's fasting, or it's already processing something that's there. They are naturally evolved to do this. They don't just go eating as we do. So you better pray that if you get caught on the Serengeti, and you encounter a lion, just pray that he's in his fasting period. Just pray that he's practicing intermittent fasting and you happen to walk by when he's not supposed to eat. Because they do go through periods where they fast. Many animals go for months. You have animals who go for days, some go for weeks, some go for months without eating, and they do not die. They have evolved to cope, because in nature there are times of plenty and there are times of scarcity. That's the natural cycle of things. We now in the modern day are existing as if there is always plenty, and the plenty that there is not the good kind of plenty anyway. It's the bad kind of plenty. It's the plenty that's heavily packed with starch and fat and protein, which our body does not process so well. We are natural fruit eaters. We're Homo sapiens. We're closest to the primate group of animals, and our closest relatives, chimpanzees, they live mostly on fruits, and some exclusively on fruits. If you look at our dentition, if you look at the way our alimentary canal is structured, we more resemble the frugivores, not even the herbivores so much. Our teeth structure is not like the herbivores. Our stomach structure, digestive system is not like the herbivores. We're closer to frugivores. And so now in the modern world, you can just walk into a supermarket and take up this and that and that and that and that. We have not evolved to process this. So we're walking around with blubber. When you start fasting, you're giving your body the chance now to use up that blubber, to burn it. So you're putting in the blubber, you're putting in, and when that is used up, yes, you're going to look a bit emaciated, but you're nowhere near death at that point, just after you use up the fat. What your body will start doing then is to burn the debris, the gunk that has been, your body kind of tuck it away to preserve your life. Even what we call the big C, that big C that takes so many lives each year, is really your body's way of tucking that tumor away from the circulation so that it does not defile the rest of the body, tucks it away in a tumor. So now your body can go to that tumor and devour it. And that is why some persons fast as a way of curing that big C, as a way of literally eating that tumor, throwing it into the fire to be burned. So you can do your own research. Go online, do your own research. Research the fact that animals fast as a natural process of their existence. Research how fasting has benefited humans over the millennia. Do your own research on the benefits of fasting. So now I'm going to share with you my journal. So this journal was started January 2020. And actually the very first entry, so this is a water fast, January 2020. This was just a 5-day water fast, very short. And then after the fast, so I write notes about what's going on. I make notes about my period. I make notes about any symptoms I might have. So when I roll up the chart for the fasting, on the chart I'll have the date and what type of fast it is, and I'll put ticks. And then I'll leave a section for comments. And I also usually have a section for my weight. I monitor my weight as I go through the fast. The next fast after that, I won't tell you all of them, but just to show you some. And to also show you that there are times when I start my fast and I break it. For whatever is happening in my life, I just didn't complete it. So this one was supposed to have been water fast for a week, and I only went 4 days. I went 4 days. And whenever I break it before the time, I will write notes. I will say, I broke the fast. I didn't feel like going on. Listen, the Desiderata says, beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. I'm a very disciplined person, and I push myself sometimes to the limit in terms of restraint, because fasting can be seen as an austere thing to do. It's an austerity measure, put it that way. And I do push myself, but I am also gentle with myself. So if I fall off the bus for whatever reason, I fall off the bus. That's it. I don't chastise myself. I don't walk around moping. I don't feel guilty. I fell off. I didn't complete it. So what? We're going to start again another time. Right? So, see, look here. This one, I was supposed, let me see what happened. This was supposed to have been a 1 month long fast. And look at that. For the first couple weeks, I didn't bother. I didn't see across through there. I only did it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. 8 days. I don't know what. In my notes, I would have explained what happened there, why I fell off. And I'm just showing you that, listen, don't be hard on yourself. If you start the fast and you don't continue for whatever reason, so this other one, it was a combination of a water fast and a dry fast. So it was 4 days water, 3 days dry fast. The longest I would do a dry fast is 3 days. I think it's extremely dangerous to go beyond 3 days. There are persons who have gone beyond that, and some of them have not lived to tell the tale. So that's a fast. You can do it after you have experienced fasting for quite a while, and you know what it's like, and you know your body, and you know what you can withstand, right? The dry fast is very dangerous. Here's another one in March 2021. This was a 14-day fast. Um, and like I said, I've done 21-day coconut water fast. All right, so this one, 2021 in August. So you notice all these notes here. I started and then I dropped off the boat and then I continued. Um, oh, so this note, I made a note that the reason why I discontinued this one. Oh, so I was invited to speak at the Marcus Garvey symposium on Marcus Garvey's birthday. And I didn't want to go there, because when you're fasting, your lips might get dry and your voice, when I'm doing especially a dry fast, my voice sounds a little different. So I wanted to represent Marcus Garvey in a big way at that symposium. So I stopped my fast and I went on all fruits for a couple of days just to make sure I was in my element to present at the Marcus Garvey symposium. And then I started back my fast after. So you see, it's all up to you. You go, you work with your own program, right? This was a fruit fast January 2020. So January 2022, sorry. This was a fruit fast for the month. So for the entire month of January, my friends and I, we went on a fruit fast for the entire month. No, it wasn't just, hold on. This fruit fast last year was for 3 months. This fruit fast was for 3 months. January, February, and March. We only had fruits for those 3 months last year, and I recorded all of it. So from January, February, March, all of that. And I recorded my weight when I started and my weight at the end of it. So in all, I lost 14 pounds on that fruit. Just eat. It wasn't just juice. So we just had fruits and fruit juices right through those 3 months last year. The next one after that was the grape juice fast, right? So that was September last year. So I made a note, it's grape and lime juice or lemon juice. I didn't start incorporating the ginger as yet. So just the grape and the lime juice. In Jamaica, we don't have lemons all the time. So it's available now and they're big and plump and mellow, really nice ripe lemons. But most times we will have limes. So whatever I have, whether it's lemon or lime, that's what I used. And I made a note. I noticed with the grape juice fast last year, after some days, because when you're fasting, it's normal to not have a bowel movement because you're fasting. But I noticed when I was doing that fast that I was constipated, and that was a new thing for me. I've never been constipated during a fast. And by constipation, I mean actually forcing to pass the bowel movement. What's normal for me is Yes, you'll go a few days without passing a bowel movement because you have nothing in there. But when you do feel to go, it just comes and it's normal and you don't feel any strain or anything. But I actually had constipation, and this was on the 16th day of that 40-day fast. So I made a note of that. And I think I ended up having to use an enema, a disposable enema during that fast. So I'm going to watch this 40-day fast, especially as I've incorporated the ginger, because the ginger works on the digestive tract. It stimulates it, as well as it calms it down. So it's really good for the digestive tract. So I'm going to see if now with the ginger, if I'm still going to have that constipation. I'm suspecting I won't, because I had a bowel movement this morning. Don't mean to gross you out, but this is all part of, once you're going to be on the journey of health, eating, fasting, juicy, you're gonna have to talk about bowel movements. So get over it. So I had a bowel movement this morning and it was normal. There was no constipation. So I'm suspecting this is how it's gonna go. And I'm assuming it's as a result of the ginger. So it's a good combination I have now for the grape juice fast, with the grape, the lemon juice, and the ginger. All right, so that's grape juice fast. It started September 1 and it ended October 10. So that's 40 days, right? And on that one, I lost, let me see how many pounds. I think I lost 17 pounds on that one. You will regain some of the weight when you start eating again. If you go back to your regular routine, so unless you're going to maintain all fruits or mostly fruits, whatever, you will gain back some of the weight. And depending on what you had before and what you start eating now, you will maintain a certain weight. So you're not gonna go back to being obese if you're just gonna stay on the fruits, the vegan lifestyle. You will not go back to being overweight, but you're gonna put on back some pounds, not all of it, but some. And the last one was the fruit fast in November. So my partner and I, we have decided that we're going to do 3 fruit fasts every year. So for a month, we do only fruits. Last year, we did 3 months, right? January, February, March. But then after that, we decided we do 1 month of just fruits. So the last one was November. So the next one coming up would be February, right? March, starting March. Yeah. So now I am on the grape juice fast, and that's this one here. Started on Monday, January 16, 2023. I am on day 6. So today is Saturday. I am on day 6 and I've already ruled it up 40 days, right? So this is the first batch. I've already ruled it up. Yeah, so that's my journal, and I record every step of the way. I keep records. I've been keeping records since forever. So you can go back and look at how far you've come and compare. I compare my menstrual cycle. I've always recorded my menstrual cycle on a almanac. I compare the days, I compare the days between and how long it lasts. I do all kinds of comparisons as regards that. The ancient Egyptians said, man, know thyself. Know thyself. You must study yourself. You must know yourself. And part of knowing yourself is keeping records of what you've done, how far you've come, and then making the comparisons. So I would encourage you to come on this health journey with me. This is Vibrant Authentic Living. Please go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Vibrant Authentic Living, where you'll get tons of videos on juicing, vegan menus, meditation, vision board, fasting, affirmations, all of that, right? Welcome if you're just joining, welcome to you. And let's stay together on this journey. Share your journey with me. Have you ever fasted? Are you thinking about fasting? Is it something that you would try? If you have fasted, what was your experience? What was it like? What did you do? What did you not do? What kind of fast was it? Tell me everything. I'm here for it. I'm here. Let's hold hands as we go along this journey. Until next week, or until I see you on my YouTube channel, this is Nandi. Take care of yourselves.